I was very lucky that I came along at the time I did, because I was a young guy in the 60s, and then I went out to Hollywood and started interviewing people, and most of the great old American filmmakers were still around. And also I got to know a lot of great foreign filmmakers, like I knew Jean Renoir very well, and I knew Francois Truffaut and people like that. And I got to meet other directors from other countries, but a lot of the silent filmmakers were still alive, and people from the golden age of Hollywood, and then the actors, and most of those people are all gone now. And so a young person starting today would only be able to read about them. But I was fortunate enough to be there and really be trying to meet all the people I wanted to meet. And I was in a position where I could get to them, almost everybody I wanted to meet. I was very lucky. But I worked hard at it, and I really wanted to search out the people I knew I was interested in. But one reason they were willing to talk to me was that I did know their work. I had studied their work a lot before I would go see them, because that flatters people. They like to talk to some young person who knows their work. And if I hadn't known it, I wouldn't have gotten very far with those guys. And but certainly, I kept doing the research, because like when I started researching Ford, a lot of his say silent films were missing, and we've discovered a lot of them over the years. So I keep seeing new films by Ford. There's one that came out recently that was rediscovered called Upstream, which I still haven't managed to see yet. So here's a Ford film that I haven't caught up with, after all these years. So you keep studying these people, and then the more you study them, the more you get out of the films, and it does help to know them. Although, as I say with Ford, what was more interesting to me was his sort of body language and his personality that I picked up from sitting with him for an hour, because it wasn't what he said so much, it was kind of his manner and his defensiveness and his crankiness. And I learned a lot about him that I wouldn't have known if I hadn't spent that hour with him. But with Wells and Capra, I got a chance to sit and ask them all kinds of questions, and that helped a lot. But you can't rely too much on the person. There's a saying by D.H. Lawrence. He said, "Never trust the teller, trust the tale." So there's a fallacy if you expect that the artist will give you all the answers, because artists don't always understand their work completely anyway. They work out of their subconscious. And so it's part of our job as scholars and critics to interpret these works. And sometimes the artist doesn't know what his film is actually saying. That can happen too.